Lee Howell, many thanks for joining us on Euronews. Fundamental to the Global Risks Report is this concept of dystopia, the opposite of utopia, where you envisage a life of hardship, devoid of hope. How realistic a prospect is that?
And we use the notion of seeds of dystopia. So the idea is, before these seeds actually emerge, can we do something? The roots of this all, though, are related to two significant economic risks. One is severe income disparity. The second risk that's related to this, though, is chronic fiscal imbalances. And it's the combination of the two that's actually quite daunting. In fact, the real challenge right now is growth that leads to employment. So how do you go through a period of austerity, yet make the cuts that are going to lead to growth and confidence, and more importantly, employment? Now, that's just one piece of this dystopian future, but the other side is really around demographics, because you have a great part of the population, half the world is under the age of 27. Unfortunately, most of the people in their 20s are entering the workforce in many parts of the world are not finding employment opportunities. So you see that these various risks can come into play, and that's just on the economic space that clearly would lead to a sense of dystopia, where you don't really have hope for the future. You're about to retire, but you doubt your pension's going to be there. You just graduate from university, but you doubt that a job will be there. In 10 years' time, we could really see the reality of the dystopian future.
Implicit in this, I guess, is a failure of global governance. But we're at a turning point now. Do you think we can rely on our leaders to act and get us out of this potential mess?
I think the problem is that our leaders aren't leading in a sense. They're trying to manage through crisis. Management is really different in the sense that if you actually know that these are certain kinds of problems that are not unique, but there's tried and true remedies. In most instances, what I'm talking about are challenges that are actually quite novel. We've never really seen this. So you're going to have to experiment, be bold, have a vision of the future, take risks. Leaders themselves have to take risks to actually deal with these risks and exercise leadership, right? Not management.
2011 was very much defined, and you touched upon this, by the rise of the Occupy movements, growing social unrest. Do you think our future is going to be defined by their demands?
We've had political movements, revolutions predate the internet. And that's part of really the human history and civilization. But what's been consistent in that is that people, when they're frustrated, back to this notion of dystopia, when they feel that things are not fair, not equal, then I think you get a significant response.
But this rise of people power basically shows that there's very little trust in leadership. Trust in forums like Davos in some respects. Is Davos out of date?
No, I think Davos is a reflection of the reality. People want all the stakeholders to come together and look at the issues together. The history of Davos has been about inclusion, and we have all of the top leaders from civil society, particularly NGOs and other groups. But more importantly, as this annual meeting, there's a small Occupy movement in Davos itself. The leader of that group has been invited to what we traditionally have as an open forum. We've asked the head of that movement to join a discussion with on rethinking capitalism with the likes of Ed Miliband of the UK. So we're very open to it. The first issue here is to frame the issues correctly, figure out who needs to be involved. A bit of a diagnosis before you prescribe, right? You think before you act, but you have to get the right people together to think, and hopefully get them together also to act.
What about the seeds of hope? Where are they?
Well, they're in us, right? That's the history of humanity. We face tough things, but we always overcome, and that's really what keeps us all going, right? That's part of the human condition.
Lee Howell, thank you very much.
Thank you.